Hello there everyone, welcome back to Rock Your Journal, and we are on the 16th of February. But before I start, I just wanted to say thank you to a few people, because last night's live was a lot of fun. So thank you to the moderators from my Facebook group for being their usual daft selves. They're real characters, I can tell you. Individually, they're real characters, but collectively, oh heck. So thank you to those ladies for keeping the chat going. That was great, thank you. And also a very special thank you to the ladies that donated me some money as well last night. I can't tell you how much it is really appreciated when you do that. So no matter how small or how big, you know, every little bit of pennies helps. So thank you for that. I hope you enjoyed last night's live. Anyway, I thought it was good fun. Okay, as predicted from yesterday's video, I have not done my 14th of February nor my 15th of February yet. So I'm going to move straight on to the 16th of February, and you're going to get a little bit of a tutorial today. So today's prompt, so this is my page, by the way, so it's opposite my library. Today's prompt, you might go, what the heck is that? Some of you may have already heard of them. So this will be interesting. And before any of you start panicking as well, don't. When you start watching the video, I know that a few of you will be, oh, but I haven't got any of them. Don't you worry. Spirelli. Yes, Spirelli. Spelt Spirelli. Spirelli. And saying, or quote. You can write the word quote if you want. So there you go, Spirelli and saying. All right, so the idea that I've got is that I've got some pictures of some sayings that I found quite comical. Because I'm a real down-to-earth kind of person, there are swear words in them. So I won't be showing you the pictures that I'm going to be using, but they do make me chuckle. So I'm going to put my saying on here, and then I'm going to decorate it up around it with my Spirellis. What is a Spirelli, I hear you asking? I've done a couple to show you. It's these little things here. Okay, show you a close-up. So it's one of them. So that's their official title. Oh, in fact, I can see I've missed one. I need to do another one there. So that's their official title, Spirellis. So it's basically you're spiralling the thread around the shape, but you do need the shapes with little notches in. Okay. So this is where these punches come into play, okay, because they're the scalloped shape punches. So I've got a circle one, a square one, and an oval one, which are great for creating these. So I've already punched one out. Now you need a firmish piece of card, not a really thick heavy board, but a firmish piece of card, because as you wrap the thread around, it will start to pull on it a bit and it can end up bowing. So paper is not going to be strong enough to support your Spirelli. Ooh, mine's alive. Come back. All right. Now, if all you have got is like this here, this is just a photocopied piece of paper. You could stick this to a piece of card and then punch your shape out, and that will then give it enough strength. In terms of the pattern on the background, I would say it needs to be fairly neutral, because otherwise your Spirelli won't show up very well. When it comes to what threads to use, that's entirely up to you. Because I was an embroiderer, I have got loads and loads, this is my box here, of metallic threads. So I'm going to use the metallic threads because I just think that the metallic gives it a really lovely shimmery effect. And of course as well, I could always stick something in the centre of here as well, maybe a button or a little die cut of some kind. So you need punched or die cut shapes that have got a scalloped edge to them. So if you've got scalloped scissors, scallop shaped scissors, you could cut out a shape with those as well. The other thread that you could use, this is like a very, very thin ribbon thread that I've got, which is multicoloured because it's been hand dyed. So that would look really nice as well. The other ones that I punched out were from this kind of background. Again, not highly patterned, sort of reasonably neutral, but not neutral as in totally plain and bland. But anything that is massively highly decorated, I just think you might struggle with. So here's how we start. You can get tape, you can get so like sellotape or washi tape, anything that's going to be strong enough. I'm using my micropore to just hold the thread down on the back. Now I'm going to leave my thread in the packet and I'm just going to grab a hold of the thread because this will work its way out of the packet as I'm doing the shape. Okay, I've zoomed in a little bit so that you can see it a little bit better. So you come up in one of the notches. Now you could go straight the way across to its complete opposite. If you do that, by the time you've finished working around the shape, you have no circle in the centre here. So whereas this one has got that circular area in the middle, right? So if you don't mind not having that circle in the middle, then just go straight across to its opposite notch, okay? If you do want a circular middle, then go across however many you want. So as you saw there, I went across 1, 2. I could go across 3. I could go across 4. All right, so I'm going to go across 3. So 1, 2, 3. All right. So then you come up at the one next to where you first started. So we're always going to come up in the next notch. And we're going to go down in the next notch where we went down previously. Okay, so which will be that one. Come up at the next notch. Go down at the next notch. Come up at the next notch. Down at the next one. Up at the next one. Down at the next one. Up and down. Up and down. Up and down. Up and down. Now as you can see, I've got back to the beginning here where I first started, but I've still got all of these still to fill, so I will actually be going over all of these a second time. Okay, so go down and up, down. Now if you look at it closely, it's difficult to know where you're meant to go down, so if you're not entirely sure, unravel it and just make a note of where you went down and that it's that next one that you need to go down on. So come up and then go down. Come up and then down. Up and down. And as you can see, as I'm starting to pull on it, it's bending this card just a little bit. So I just need to slacken my thread off a little bit as I'm going round. So up at the next one and down, next one and down, next one and down, next one and down. Okay, so I still need to continue going round because as you can see they've overlapped here, but they haven't overlapped here, so I need to continue going round. Oh, that didn't go in right. There we go. So you need to concentrate a little bit until you've got all the way around to the beginning again. And I can tell that I'm back at the beginning because I'm now going over the top of that thread that I did in the first instance. So I know now that I've come to the end, and that's what I've ended up with. Right, so we're then going to flip it over, get a piece of tape, and then stick that down and trim off that bit of excess. And that's what I've ended up with. A Spirelli. Really effective, I think. Now then, as I said, if you do not have the scallop shaped punches, don't panic, Mr. Mannering, because there's no reason why you can't use any kind of flower punches or flower dies. Alright, so this one was done with this punch, and these two were done with this flower punch. So have a look at your flower dies, have a look at flowers that you might already have in your stash, anything that has got any kind of defined notch in it. Now obviously with the likes of this one, you've only got a very small area where the threads are going to overlap somewhat. So you're only going to get a real tiny little Spirelli in that. Okay, so you need something that has got enough space to create this overlapping on them. Alright. Now with this one, I went straight from one notch straight the way across to its opposite and carried on going round. So as you can see, I've no circle in the middle here because I just went directly across. Whereas on this one, I went from this notch across, not directly, but one further along. Okay, so instead of going from there to there, I went from there to there. And so therefore it's helped to create that space in the middle. So if that was my saying, and then I added these on top, you can see how quite effective it looks to be able to help to frame that center image. So I'll do another one for you so you can watch again. Piece of card, do a square one I think this time. Okay, so punch that out. And we're going to get the end of the thread and stick it on the back. Now what I would do is, once you've stuck the other end on it, is I would actually add some glue on top of that as well, or even just punch out a little piece of card and stick that on the back to hold the threads in place, because this tape is only so, you know, it's only so strong. So we're going to start there, and instead of going directly across, I'm going to go across 1, 2, and then come up at the next notch and go down into that empty one. Come up in that next notch and go down in the empty one. Okay, so as you can see with the square, it's ended up not having a central empty area, it's all overlapping. And then stick that end down. Make sure it's nice and tight, that thread. Ooh, the tape doesn't want to come off my finger. There we go. And then snip off that excess. And how effective does that look? I love them. I've been wanting to do them for quite a while, and I've been threatening myself to do some. So I'm going to do some more of these circle ones, I think, because I think that they turn out really lovely. So I'm going to go off and do myself some more of those. I'm going to print off my saying, stick that onto my page, and then arrange some of these around that image. And that will be today's Spirelli and saying done. Before I forget, there was a lady asked on the live yesterday and I missed it, but I went through and had a look afterwards, and she asked me if I'd ever been an arts and crafts teacher or a teacher previously. I get asked this a lot, and yes, I've been a teacher, but not at a school. I've taught privately embroidery, and I've travelled teaching as well. So not last year but the year before, I taught embroidery on a cruise for my friend. We went on a cruise around America. Not around America, but you know, I went to America. I've taught in America previously as well, been to some shows, done lots of shows in the UK, and teach privately at home. So yeah, I've been teaching for a long time, and I've mostly taught embroidery, but I've also had quilting classes as well, patchwork and quilting, and I've also taught embroidery, patchwork, and paper crafts, so journal making and the likes as well. So yes and no, all in the same breath is the answer to that question. Okay, I'm going to go Spirelli and saying for today. See you tomorrow. Bye.